What's up, everybody? Benji, Bruce here, and today we're going to talk about fear of spending money, because fear of spending money is keeping you from making any money. So I really want to talk about that because, I've gone through this and it really, really sucks. You've got money, you want to get money, and you're just afraid to spend it. And being afraid to spend the money is literally keeping you from making any money. I cannot stress that enough. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's see who's hopping on. Let's see if this thing is going to go live real quick. Let's see where we're at. All right, let's see. Cool. There we go. Let's see. We got about 20 billion people who just hopped on. All right, so let's get going. I want to first start with a quote from Will Smith. This is actually a quote from one of his worst movies, After Earth. And so in the movie, he says, "Fear is not real. The only place fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice." And so that was from the After Earth movie with Will Smith and his son. And so I really like that quote. And fear, it literally is exactly what he said in terms of it's literally just inside of your brain versus danger is actually real. So I want to talk about the fear of spending money because it's really keeping you from making any money. And the only thing, so I remember I was talking with several different entrepreneurs, and a lot of times when I talk with a lot of like multimillionaires, I tend to ask them in terms like, so what do you think is like the biggest impediment to entrepreneurs, to all that sort of stuff? And so a lot of times, most of the times, I'd say about 80% of the time, they say fear. At first, I was thinking like, nah, it's not fear. What you talking about? Fear? No, it's not fear. And so I literally thought that for the longest time. It wasn't fear. But the more I talked with people about business and helping them, the more I realized it really is fear, especially fear with spending money. The more you are afraid to spend money, the less likely you're going to make any. I can't stress that enough. I'm going to go through this in just a second. My story in terms of when I really understood this was when I started spending money on Facebook ads. Well, before I started spending money on Facebook ads, basically I was terrified to spend money on Facebook ads. So I was basically starting out as an entertainer. I went to a speaker and I'm only doing outreach at this point. So I didn't have to spend any money. I'm just literally spending my time all day, every day, cold emailing. Then all of a sudden I start building the online brand and I'm thinking, okay, I'm producing content, but it's not really growing. I'm not building the list. How do I build the list? Okay, I got to spend money on ads, right? So I'm thinking, I'm Googling in terms of different ways to do it. Everyone's talking about SEO, YouTube videos. So I'm producing tons of YouTube videos, trying to SEO the whole thing, but it's really not working it's just not making me a ton of money. And so finally, I realized, okay, let me start spending some money on some ads. And it wasn't until I actually spent money on ads that I really started to grow the business. And you have to understand that no product is going to really work until you literally start spending money. I can't stress that enough. And the problem with people is they don't want to spend money because they're not sure it's going to work. You're just not sure. You're going to spend money on Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever you want to spend money on, Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads. You're not sure it's going to work. You're not 100% sure. You may be kind of sure. You heard people are making money with it, with Instagram ads, Facebook ads. You heard people are making money with it, but you're not really sure how you specifically can make money with it. You're not sure if you're going to actually make the money. So you're afraid, if I put a couple $100 into the ads, what if I lose it all and I don't get any sales? What if I lose it all? I don't get any clients? You're afraid that's going to happen. And so I was programmed, and well, everybody's programmed with little things like money back guarantees, right? Money back guarantees it's a great way to sell what you're selling, but the way it programs the buyers is completely wrong. There is no guarantee in any business. Absolutely no guarantee that things are going to work in a business, because everything depends on you, like literally you. No matter what it is you're buying, spending money on, Facebook ads, there's no guarantee you're going to make money. Google ads, no guarantee you're going to make money. When you buy a product, no guarantee it's going to work. Absolutely no guarantee. And so the money back guarantees, it trains people's brains to truly believe, or trains people's brains to place blame on the other thing, not them. So they say, okay, I'm going to spend money on this thing. Money back guarantee, if it doesn't work, is because this thing doesn't work, and they don't blame themselves. And when you get into that state of mind, it's a really, really dangerous state of mind. And so you have to, and by the way, guys, if you have any questions, make sure you ask questions. Oh, dang it, this thing froze up on me. Let me see. All right, there we go. Hold on. There we go. All right. Cool. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure you ask the question. I'll go through them. But basically, I was afraid that I was going to run out of money. And this actually did happen to me, by the way, when I was just trying to do the entertainment business and I'm just trying to get on stages. I knew there were two ways to get on stages. One was outreach. I could do like cold email and cold calling. And two was Google AdWords, because when people are looking for entertainers, when they're looking for speakers, they go to Google, they type in corporate magician, corporate entertainer, corporate illusionist, motivational speaker, sales speaker. They do that into Google. And so if I pop up, I'm more likely to get the gig. So I said, okay, let me spend some money on Google Ads. And I figured, let me just spend $500 to start out with. Spent $500, lost it. Just completely lost it all. Said, okay, you know what? Maybe it was just that time. Let me try it again. So I tried it again. Spent the money, lost it again. I lost a ton of money with Google Ads at first until I figured out how to do it. But what happens is you're afraid to spend money because you're not sure you're going to make any money back, especially when you're spending money with ads. I remember someone who literally said these words to me. They literally said, I'm willing to spend money on ads only if I know I'm going to get money back. I'll say that again. This is what they say. They say, I'm willing to spend money on ads only if I know I'll get the money back. Man, if it was only that easy. I'm telling you, think about that. If you were to spend money on ads with 100% certainty that you're going to get the money back, you would literally throw everything that you own, you would throw it into advertising because you know you're going to get money back and then some. It would literally be stupid of you not to do that. But that is no guarantee. You are not guaranteed to make any money back. This is why so many people cannot succeed in business, because they have that mindset. The mindset of, I will only spend money if I'm guaranteed that I'm going to get the money back. I will only spend money on Facebook ads if I guarantee that I'm going to make sales. And that is why they don't make any money. And so what I did is, in the beginning, once again, I was the same way. I was afraid to spend money on Facebook ads. It started with Facebook ads. Well, Google ads, I just kind of threw money in. I should have just ripped up my $500, to be honest. Like, it was that dumb. But Facebook ads, like, once again, I was still afraid to spend money. And it wasn't until I literally said, forget it. I mean, Benji, you're making all this money with these actual shows and stuff. Let me just drop a couple $100 on this thing. And so I finally dropped a few hundred. I got it to work faster just because I knew my audience, but still, in the end, you're going to lose money no matter what. No matter what it is you do, you're going to lose money. So money created money. So when I actually spent money on Facebook ads and it actually worked, it built the list, and then finally I sold something, I was like, damn, this thing works. And so I realized money creates money. Once I realized that, I created the association. Facebook ads equals revenue. Facebook ads equals revenue. I created the association. Spending money equals more money. Spending money equals more money. And so when you create that association, the fear, it goes away. Hopefully it goes away. It will come back if you don't keep it in check. And I want to point that out. If you are spending money, and this happened to me, by the way. So I was spending money on Facebook ads. So in the beginning, I was terrified to spend money on advertising. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make money back. What if I lose it all? So I'm terrified of spending the money. So eventually I was like, Benji, what are you doing, man? Come on, spend the money. So I finally just dropped some money in. It worked. I was like, oh, cool. It worked. Then I stopped. I don't know why. I just stopped. I was just like, okay, well, now the advertising, the cost per click is increasing more than I want to. Stop it, right? So I just stopped the thing. Now, what you should do, if you stop it, you want to restart another one immediately. What I did, I just stopped it, and that was that. I stopped it and I waited like a month, 2 months, however long. I just waited, and I lost all the momentum in terms of actually generating the revenue. And that's what's going to happen to you if you're not aware of it. If you're not aware in terms of spending money, and then you spend the money, it's working, then you're going to back off for some reason. I guarantee you're going to back off for some reason. You're going to say, okay, cool. Maybe I'll create a new sales process. Let me do this first and let me do that. So you're going to stop the ad spend, and then you're going to try to do something else. And when you stop it, you're going to once again procrastinate because your brain is thinking like, oh man, now I got to spend more money again. So you have to literally flip that inside of your head. I can't stress this part enough. You will lose money no matter where you are. You could be making $1 million a day. You will lose money no matter what. If you're going to be spending money on advertising, it's inevitable that you're going to lose money. The key is to make more than you actually lose. So actually poker players are a perfect example. So the Michael Jordan of poker is this guy named Phil Ivey. And so someone like Phil Ivey and these guys, Tom Dwan, all these guys, they're like the top notch players. These guys, they don't win every single game. They don't win every single tournament. What they do is they win most of the tournaments. They win most of the poker games. And so that's what you're thinking with ads. You're not going to win every single time. You're not going to put money in and every single time you're going to make money. That's not how it's going to work. You will lose money. It is guaranteed that you're going to lose money. So you got to ask yourself, are you scared? Like if you're scared of just losing some money, you absolutely will not make any money in the long term. You got to ask, are you scared? Are you just going to stop when you start losing money? So, what the hell did I write? Afraid to cold call eventually. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So here I was just pointing out in terms of, in the beginning when I was just cold calling, I was afraid to cold call just like most people. So this was way back when I was just doing the entertainment stuff and I realized, hey, I got a cold call. So at first I was just afraid to cold call. I'm like, I don't know. What do I say? And all that. So I was afraid to cold call. Eventually when it worked, I was like, damn. And I associated calling with money, calling with money, calling with money. Same goes with the ads. When you start spending money on ads and it works, it's ads with money. Ads, I don't know why I'm holding up a phone, but it's ads with money. And so that's what you're ultimately doing. If you have fear of spending money, you won't make a decision. So if you're afraid, if you're saying, okay, I'll only spend money on ads if I'm guaranteed to make the money back. If you have that type of fear inside of your brain, you're going to sit there and you won't make a decision. You're going to sit there and say, well, I don't really know if I should spend money on ads. I don't know about spending money on Instagram ads. You're just not going to spend any money. You're just going to sit there and do nothing, which is a guaranteed way to fail. At least when you spend money on ads, you have a chance of succeeding. When you don't spend money on ads, you are guaranteed to not succeed. You're guaranteed to not get things going, to not build any momentum in your business. So what we do whenever we're doing anything, if something doesn't work once, we just assume it won't work forever. It's almost like if it doesn't work once, we fear that thing forever. And this is why a lot of people, when they see people online, like gurus online with ads and stuff, they see a guru and maybe they bought a product before. So they bought one product. They're like, this thing is a crappy product. Now that one thing caused them to fear every guru. So when they see a guru online, they say, oh, this dude's a scam artist and all that. So that's what happens when people lose once, they fear forever. You cannot do that. You have to understand that you're going to lose a lot of the time. You just have to win most of the time. You're going to lose a little bit of the time. You want to win most of the time. So that's a better way of saying that. So you got to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? I mean, are you afraid of running out of money? Are you afraid of what people think? Are you afraid of the imposter syndrome? What are you afraid of in terms of your fear? And the fear, it truly will stop you dead in your tracks. I remember like literally every time I talk with these entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs keep saying to me, fear is probably the number one impediment. I was reading the book by Felix Dennis. Felix Dennis, he's the guy who created Maxim magazine and all these other magazines. And so Felix Dennis actually said fear is the number one impediment to success inside of his book, How to Get Rich. And once again, when I first read it, I was like, I don't know. I mean, this guy who created Maxim magazine, several other multimillionaires said the same thing. And I'm thinking, I don't know. But what fear does, it just stops you dead in your tracks. So you have to remove fear through practicality. Like literally get analytical as hell on this thing. Not motivational. Get analytical as hell to remove fear. You have to simply ask yourself, what's going to happen? So if you put $500 into advertising, what's the worst that can happen? What's the absolute worst? The absolute worst, you're going to lose your $500. So what? Not a big deal. So what? You lost $500. You can just make it back eventually. In fact, let's say you put in all your money into Facebook ads, right? Let's just say your paycheck, you come home, you get a paycheck for, I don't know, $3,000 this month or something. You just throw it all in Facebook ads. You're like, Benji just told me to spend money. So bam, you just throw it all in Facebook ads. You lose a whole damn thing. Now you're homeless. Oh, damn it. I'm homeless now. So that's the worst that can happen to you. You're homeless. Sure, it sucks, but at least you can go to a homeless shelter and get some food, right? So you got to simply think to yourself, are you willing to risk that to have your dream? I'm for sure willing to risk going homeless to have my dream of building a freaking $100 million company. I am for damn sure willing to risk it. It's like when I mean, the more you make, the less fear you tend to have, because obviously it's less likely to happen that you're going to go homeless, but still you got to simply just remove fear through extreme practicality. And so I would just rather die knowing I tried than just die wondering what if. And that's what goes through my head in general. Skill and competence removes fear. If you look at someone who's really good at Facebook ads, they know they're going to win in the long term. They just know it. It's just, no, I'm really great at Facebook ads. I'm great at YouTube ads. I'm great at Instagram ads. They know in the long term they're going to make money because they're very competent at it. They're skilled in that advertising platform. And so when you skill up, it's inevitable that you're going to make money building your business, spending money on ads. And so you just want to think like the military. The military doesn't think in terms of, oh, let's just think positive. They don't do that. The military thinks of every possible outcome. The they simply say, okay, so we're going to send a warship over there. What could possibly happen? They're like, well, China could start a war with us. I mean, this could happen. They could maybe do nothing. They think of every possible outcome. That's what you do to remove fear. Think of every possible outcome. Think, okay, I spend this much money. What's the worst that's going to happen? Worst that's going to happen, you're going to lose the money. And the best that can possibly happen, though, is you're going to make a boatload of money. You can reinvest that back into the business. And so you have to simply remove fear through practicality. No matter where you are, you don't have to stay there. That's what you have to truly drill inside of your brain. No matter where you are, you do not have to stay there. If you aren't making a lot of money right now and you want to make more, you don't have to stay where you are. You can make more. You just have to do things differently. You have to truly remove the fear of spending money. I'm telling you right now, this is probably the number one thing in terms of what's holding people back from building an online business. They're just afraid to spend money. They keep saying things like, what about SEO? I'm going to use SEO and things like that. Good luck, buddy. You don't realize how long SEO is going to take you. By the time SEO starts working, you could have made money in a week. Like you could have already just sold a product within a week and you're sitting there wondering like, hey, why is this not working? It's been 6 months, a year from now. Right? So you simply have to think in terms of if you're unwilling to spend money, it's just going to take you a lot of time to get things done. And so what I write here, you have to spend, okay. So said what you get back is basically in direct proportion to what you give. So it's just like a job. If you get hired for a job, you have to give first before you get paid. So you have to work at the job. And then after the month is done, then you get your paycheck. The same goes with spending money or making money. In order to make money, you have to give money first. Give money first, then you will get money in return. You will not get money just by expecting someone to give you money, expecting money to come in, expecting people to buy your product, expecting people to hear about you. You will not get money. You will not get clients until you spend money. It's in direct proportion in terms of what you give. What you get is in direct proportion to what you give. And so fear tends to come in many different forms. Fear, most of the times, it just comes through uncertainty. You're literally just uncertain. You're sitting there saying, well, I don't know. I mean, I could spend $200 on ads, but I mean, I don't know if it's going to work though. That's what fear disguises itself as. You're just not sure. I want to point this out. You will never be sure. You absolutely will not ever be sure that it's going to work. No matter what. You can be the freaking greatest marketer in the world. I'm telling you, the greatest marketers in the world, what everyone does is they simply say, here's my idea, here's what I think is going to work. And usually it's, let's say an 80% chance it's going to work because they're really great at marketing, but it's not 100%. So they just do it. Let me just do this thing. And then they see, they're just like, does it work? Okay. Yeah, it worked. Cool. That's literally what the greatest marketers in the world do. And so fear tends to disguise itself through uncertainty and also through excuses. If you're coming up with lame excuses, oh man, I don't really know. I don't really know about Facebook ads. I don't really know how to do this Instagram ad stuff. If you're coming up with all sorts of reasons in terms of why you can't do something, that is literally fear disguising itself as a reason, as an excuse. And that is literally why you are where you are. So you simply want to destroy fear through action. That's all you're literally doing. Destroy fear through action. You say, okay, I know that I'm not 100% sure I'm going to make my money back. Not 100% is not, there's no such thing in business. Not 100% sure. So the way you destroy fear is by simply doing it. That's literally what you do. You're just like, okay, I'm afraid to spend money on Facebook ads. Let me just spend money on Facebook ads. And what's going to happen is, even if you lose, let's say you spend $500, even if you lose it, you're going to realize, oh, it wasn't that bad. I still have my house. I still have food. I still got my car. Like, it's not that, it's not a big deal. And so that's all you're doing. You think through fear, not about fear. Most people tend to think about things that they're afraid of. They tend to think about things that they're uncertain of. They think about those things instead of thinking through those things. So if you're uncertain of something, if you're uncertain about whether this thing is going to work, whether cold call is going to work, cold email is going to work, Facebook ads is going to work, Instagram ads is going to work, Google ads is going to work. If you're uncertain about that, you don't think about it. You push through it. You do it anyways, and then you just see what happens. I can't stress this enough. The way you make money is you have to spend money. In the beginning, it's going to go really slow because maybe you don't have a lot of money to spend, which, I mean, it sucks, but that's just a fact. You don't have a lot of money to spend because your business isn't really generating any revenue. So what you have to do is you have to simply say, here's how much I can spend. Here's the most I can spend right now. And you just get really good at it. So let's say total, you're thinking, I can spend a total of $5,000 on ads. If I spend $5,000 on ads and it never works, I'm not doing this again. See, you can do that if you want. But then at that point you say, I'm going to start out with $200. Let me spend $200. Let's see where this goes. Does it work? If it doesn't work, you simply say, okay, what did I do wrong here? Let me drop in another $200. So you're going to gain knowledge before you do that, by the way. That's the one thing I didn't do when I did Google AdWords. So in the beginning, when I did Google AdWords, I dropped in $500, lost all my money. I just lost it. And instead of being smart, instead of me just like reading a book or talking to somebody, hey, how do you do Google AdWords? All I did is I said, let me just throw in another $500. Let's just do this again. For some reason, let's just do this again. And like a dummy, I just did that and I lost money again. And so finally I started smartening up. I started saying, okay, let me start read some books. Let me talk to some people about how to do this. So I finally smartened up and got it to work. But you have to understand that you don't think about fear. You think through fear. So just keep that inside of your brain. With fear, it creates hesitation. It just creates hesitation in you. And hesitation, it creates gaps for you to think. And when you think, that's when the fear tends to pop up inside of your brain. So that's why you destroy fear through action. If you hesitate, you're not doing any action. You're thinking. So you have all the time in the world to think about all the things that are going to go wrong. Oh my, what if I lose the money? What if I go homeless? What if nobody buys a product? So all this stuff is happening in your brain because you're not moving. You're not doing anything. So hesitation creates gaps that allow you to think, and your thinking allows you to say, what if I don't make money? And so that's the thinking is what's going to create that fear. So if you want to simply destroy fear, you just move fast. This is why Zuckerberg, his whole thing was move fast and break things. He's like, hey, let's bam, bam, bam. Let's just move fast. That's how you need to think. Let's just move fast. Let's just keep doing things. If it doesn't work, bam, on to the next one. That doesn't work, bam, on to the next one. And that's what you're doing every single time. You have to get to the spending money phase as fast as possible in your business. It's the only way you can possibly make money. I cannot stress that enough. I only started making money when I started spending money. When I was just building, so let's say even my entertainment business, right? So I'm just doing cold emailing at this point. In the beginning, I just did regular cold email. Maybe it was through my Gmail. No, I don't think I did it through Gmail in the beginning. It was actually through just the Benji Bruce domain. And so I was just sending out emails and I'm spending my time doing it. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. And it's kind of working. But it wasn't until I started spending money on the CRM, on tools like Yesware and things like that I actually started making money. Same goes with the online business. The online business is, it's one of the things where you really have to spend money to make money. Because if you're not spending money on ads, if you're depending on SEO, you're going to absolutely be screwed. Hands down, you're going to be screwed. Real businesses aren't built on SEO. You're just hands down, you're going to be screwed. Even people who are teaching SEO, they're spending money on advertising. So you just got to understand that. Remember, hesitation, it creates fear. Speed destroys it. So don't hesitate. Just move. Just push. And the way I really see it is you're not serious until you start spending money. That's the way I see it. You're not a serious business owner until you literally start spending money. If you're afraid to buy a CRM, if you're afraid to buy email tracking software, if you're afraid to spend money on Facebook ads, you're not a business owner. It's just a hobby to you. You're not serious about it in any way. And that's all I really wanted to say about that. What's up, Brandon? See you next week. So that's all I want to say. If you're not spending money on your business, you're not serious about your business, you have to remove the fear of spending money by not hesitating, literally just pushing through the fear, not thinking about that fear. So, all right. So we are good to go for today. I will see you guys on Monday. Or wait, let me see. What do you say on Instagram? He said Instagram never shows you as live. Could get this on the phone, desktop. All right. Let's see. Would YouTube be a better place for live streams? All right, so for Instagram peeps, if you guys want to go to facebook.com/official Benji Bruce, then that's where you'll see the live sessions. Or actually go to benjibruce.com and then sign up to the newsletter, and then I'll send you emails about all the stuff anyways. So we are good to go, but I just want to remind you guys once again, the only way you're going to make money is by getting through the fear of spending money. If you are unwilling to spend money, one, you're not serious about your business, and two, there is no two. I didn't think of a two. There's no two inside of my head. One, you're just not serious about your business. You have to get through the fear of actually spending money. So fear of spending money keeps you from making any. I will see you guys Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Take care, everybody. Deuces. Peace.